Hey guys, I'm Motion, and in this video I'm going to show you 5 of the best solo spawn locations for Bloodhunt in Season 1. These spawns aren't chosen randomly and have in fact had many hours of studying and testing the full Prague map in detail to give you the best start to your match as possible. These spawns have been calculated on a number of factors, including ground loot spawns, guaranteed van spawns, named location chests, lootable stores, nearby enemy spawns, popularity, and possible rotations. I will skip the fine details on how these factors came into play when choosing the best spawns, as I explained it in detail in my early access spawn location video, but with the new additions to the map and some small changes here and there, it was time for an update for Season 1. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button if you find the video useful, and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss more in-depth guides and gameplay breakdowns. I have just activated YouTube memberships, so if you fancy supporting me financially, you will gain a bunch of bonuses which I'll cover in more detail in my next live stream. Jumping into our list of best spawns with number 5, Slaughterhouse. This is a great choice if you want to find both meds and weapons within seconds of spawning, as by picking the bottommost spawn of the map, you are not only mostly protected by incoming anarchs to the north, but have both a weapons van and an ambulance within only a few meters of your starting point, giving you some essential supplies before heading inside for the hidden Camarilla cache and more ground loot. This spawn has plenty of large buildings nearby for close quarters combat inside, or a good view of the surrounding area from the rooftops. This area loses points, however, for the lack of police vans nearby, making armor difficult to find. The vans in the surrounding area will be mostly taken by other spawn points, leaving you to cross your fingers that you find some on the ground. The small population of nearby mortals can sometimes be enough to give you a few buffs, but these are to be shared between up to 5 or more players, so it can be hit or miss to find your favourite resonance buffs. I like to head north towards Library and Harbour after the first fight or so. This general area isn't overly populated, as people who spawned in this area will generally rotate to Rudolfinum or Demolition, but anywhere to the north will put you closer to more loot options and potential kills, so you have plenty of options. Moving on to number 4, Burning Church. This is one of my favourite spawn locations, because it can contain so much loot in such a small area. By spawning at this point on the western side of a church, you can guarantee yourself to be the first to reach the stockpile of weapons up top by using your movement ability to cover the large gap between the roofs. I almost always pick this spot when it is a high tier loot location to maximize my chances of finding the best weapons to last from early game to the last 1v1. Mortals are also in good supply as we are very close to terrace, so finding some early game buffs will be easy if you rotate to the north a little. Make sure you're prepared to fight for your loot, however. The Burning Church is a popular spot and is often contested in the early stages of a match from nearby spawns. There are a bunch of rotation options, however, so if you're hurt or on the run, there will be plenty of ways to evade both on the rooftops and on street level with hidden alleyways. With multiple supply vans in the general area, you won't have an issue keeping topped up on consumables if you know where to look. My go-to rotation is towards terrace, as this is another popular spot and you can generally arrive in time to third party at least one fight. The Burning Church loses some points, however, as most of the loot found inside is technically ground loot, and has the chance of not spawning at all. This can leave you in an awkward situation with incoming enemies and little to no loot other than the Camarilla chest to supply you with a weapon. Number 3, Abandoned Mall. This is a very popular spot for anyone looking for a fight in the early stages of a match. The general area features both wide open areas with shipping containers for added parkour, and more closed off areas with enormous amounts of verticality, thanks to the partially open walls of the mall itself. The combination of both features allows many people to be present in the same area without feeling overwhelmed, as you can easily play around the surrounding levels and cover to engage only your desired target, all while staying safe from being sniped in the back mid-diablerie. Watch out for the massive tower and crane though, as they will have eyes on the surrounding area. The abandoned mall has a huge amount of ground loot both inside the walls and outside in the surrounding construction site, so no matter which way you go from spawn, there will be something for you to defend yourself. If you get into trouble though, and are in need of consumables, your best bet is only a short trip to the west away, where there is a police van for armor and a pharmacy to keep you topped up, so you can get back in the action as soon as possible. The occasional lucky red gas placement will have you spending the whole match in this area, and even then you won't run out of flank paths. One drawback of the northernmost part of the map is that mortals are less frequent, as you are far away from the central hot zone. You will probably be too busy slaying your enemies though, and Memorial Park isn't too far away if you really need that third sanguine buff to keep you on your feet. Just beware of Parking Garage, which is a similarly popular zone and could quickly have more people rotating in if they won their first fight quickly. I would advise rotating to the west to top up on consumables after a few fights, and then towards Shopping Arcade or the Disco depending if you're looking for more people or residence buffs. Moving on to number 2, Prince's Haven. This was previously my all-time favourite spawn location for solos, but with a few tweaks to the nearby entity checkpoint for Season 1, it has become a little more difficult to get the perfect run, as you may have seen in the early access period. The weapon store is by far the best spawn location in the general area, and will be highly contested if you don't loot quick enough. My advice is to grab some weapons and immediately go for some meds from one or both of the nearby ambulances before incoming players surprise you from above. There are a few bad rotations here, and you'll want to play off what your surroundings are doing, but armor and resonance buffs are very easily obtainable nearby with an abundance in the square. But if you'd rather go for action instead, I would advise you head to the north where more players are likely to be concentrated. You can even take out the single entity hunter on your way out if you feel like getting a burst rifle, but be careful not to get caught between him and a player on the rooftops. The only potential downside to this area is the potential rapid influx of players and the large entity checkpoint cutting off some of your escape options. There are still plenty of tunnels and parkour friendly zones around, but this takes a little map knowledge to remember where they are, so you don't panic mid-fight and run headfirst into a pack of hungry soldiers. Overall, a very solid spawn, giving you everything you could need to start your match in the best way possible, but our last spot is arguably even better. Before I reveal the best solo spawn, let me know where your favourite spawn location is and if it made it into the top 5. I'm planning a top 5 trio spawn locations video soon, so make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss it. Number 1. Shopping Arcade. Now this one is going to be a bit controversial, but hear me out. The arcade has everything you could ever need in a spawn location. By spawning here, and ignoring the enemy just to the north, we can loot a weapons van and head inside to loot the whole of the weapons store before needing to engage in combat. This will give any immediate enemy a huge disadvantage with their poor loadout, and with a bit of luck, you might even get to loot the Camarilla cache and the pharmacy before even hearing a gunshot. There are plenty of police vans and ambulances just outside to the north, so you won't be lacking in anything. Even mortals like to hang out in the general area, so why is it controversial? The one thing that Arcade lacks is consistent rotations. As it is a lot more central on the map compared to our previous best spawns, the incoming flow of enemies will largely depend on what happens elsewhere, and from game to game can vary from a constant flow of incoming players looking to heal up, to radio silence where you have to start looking for players. The latter being less of an issue in the Bloodhunt mode with the respawns, but something to note if you want to plan your rotations in advance. I personally love this aspect, as it keeps the spawn feeling new each match, but if you're planning on playing ranked, you may want to look at some of the other spawns on the list. But for public matches and high kill games, this is definitely the sweet spot. What do you think about my list? Did it help you, or do you think I'm wrong? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in Prague.